Hi guys, hope you're all okay. Today I have a Q&A video to do for you, as you can tell by the title. Warning, obviously I've not recorded it yet, but I'm gonna say it's gonna be a long one. I can ramble quite comfortably for 15 minutes with a haul that's got like 7 items, and I have 2 pages of questions done on the back of my recycling. Done 2 because I asked on Instagram and on YouTube, so they came from separate places, and a lot of them were about Reuben, so this is kind of like the Reuben page and this is everything else. So yeah, so you might want to get a brew. Yes, I'm still using a Christmas cup. Kath Kidson Robin, I think it's like Retro Robin or something, I don't know, I might make that up, but I've got a flat white. Reuben is awake because he is refusing to nap today, but he is in his swing. Eyes are going, but he might not go to sleep, so he's there. Anything else? Oh, my hair looks like guff. Postpartum hair loss is real. I need my roots done. Hello, brunette. And a good cut. But obviously the hairdressers are all shut, and because, as I said, postpartum hair loss, I'm a bit scared about dyeing my hair, so this is what we're working with. To be honest, if I'm not recording, it's pretty much in a braid or a mum bun, so I'm just kind of putting leave-in conditioner in it and ignoring it at the most, but I put it down for the video. A couple of other things. What I was kind of thinking is asking you guys, is there a video that you'd like to see? Like, it's that thing, we're in lockdown, so hauls, I have some that have been recorded from stuff I've bought, but obviously there's not a whole lot of shopping going on, is there? So if somebody would like, I had one the other day, someone asked me to do an updated what's in my fridge, so I'm going to do that. But yeah, any video requests, let me know. The other thing is I had a lot of IVF questions, so I'm going to do a separate video on IVF as procedural type thing and protocol type thing, because it's a big topic. I could talk for hours on it, and I just don't think it quite has justice putting it in with everything else, so I'm going to do a separate IVF Q&A. So if you have a question that you'd like included in that, I already have quite a few, but feel free to comment below. Right, I think that is everything. I hope you're all doing well, surviving lockdown life if you're in the UK. Obviously if you're blessed enough to live in, is it New Zealand and Australia? I think they're now completely back to normal life, I think. But yeah, wherever you are in the world, I hope you are well and doing okay. Right, let's jump in. I'm going to do the Reuben questions first because most people come here now for him, I think. It's either for a grocery haul or for a Reuben shop, one or the other. I haven't really put them in order, but anyway. Had some questions about, is Reuben meeting his milestones? And I think that's because he's prem and people were concerned. Reuben was 5 weeks early. Oh, so if you're new and you've stumbled across a Q&A as your first video, Reuben is my little boy. So Reuben was 5 weeks early. He is currently almost 5 months old. couple of weeks and he'll be 5 months old. That is insane. So milestone wise, the guidelines that we were given from the NHS with premature babies, you go by their birth date, you go by their due date, not their birth date. So, and that ranges from when they're born up until they're about 2. So basically what that means is if your baby was 4 weeks early, you look at the milestones. So say from his birth date he is 6 months old, but he was 4 weeks early, you look at the milestones at 5 months. Does that make sense? So you give them the benefit of the doubt of those weeks that they lost, that they should have been in the womb. So Reuben's almost 5 months old, but he's only meant to be hitting the milestones of someone who's almost 4 months old. but he's doing all right actually. He's doing well. He's kind of met all of his like minimum requirements quite easily. We're working on the stuff for 5, like aiming towards the things we should be aiming towards. Current one that he is struggling with is rolling over. He can get so far, which is really cute. He can get so far, and then you can't get any further because, you know, he just hasn't got it yet. And then he gets frustrated, and then he shouts. Ruben has really found his voice the last few weeks, and it's like one of his favourite songs. We sing Head, Shoulders, Knees and Toes a lot. It makes him laugh, but sometimes what's been quite funny is that he's laughing and his own volume has surprised himself. Like, it's like you see his little face, like a noise came out of me. But yeah, so milestones, he's doing really well actually. The health visitor last time we saw her was really pleased with his development. Weight wise, he's doing okay. He's catching up. I think people get confused when I comment on his weight, because when you see a picture of his face, he seems quite chubby. He has got a round face. It's so cute. But because, so I say Ruben's almost 5 months old, but a lot of his clothes he's wearing are still 0 to 3. Like, he's catching up, but he's still a little, if that makes sense. Right, oh, this is going to be a long video. What are Ruben's favourite toys stroke food? So Ruben is like still 90% of his food is breast milk. That's kind of where we're at, but we have introduced some solids. We are doing baby-led weaning. Some people out there will be screaming because some people think that you shouldn't do that until they're 12 months. Some say 6 months. We discussed it with our health visitor. She agreed with what we were doing. But yeah, 90% of what Ruben eats is still breast milk. But the favourite thing he has tried so far is sweet potato. Whew. Loved it. Definitely his favourite thing. Favourite toys, I have props. Is most definitely this bad boy. We have bought so many things. This, I believe, is it from Nubby? I want to say it's from Nubby. It's a teether. Yeah, Nubby. Corn on the cob teething toy. It's his absolute favourite. He also really likes this guy. His smile's coming a bit unstitched. This guy gets a lot of love. This was handmade by one of John's customers for Ruben. She's such a lovely lady. She made him so many toys when he was first born, and we've got this like handmade bunting in his bedroom in the nursery that she made. But this is what Dawn made him for Christmas, and yeah, it's had a lot of love. And another thing that he adores is this guy. It's still in the box, which people might question. We are still currently working on getting Ruben's scent on it. I had a lot of dog questions, so this kind of rolls into that. The boys have been through the dogs, so Darwin is there, Gilly's the other end. The boys have been trained that they're not allowed to touch anything that's Ruben's. The reason we've had to do that is because the dogs both have toys. They like toys, and obviously a lot of their toys look like Ruben's soft toys. So the way we've kind of done it is if something smells of Ruben, they're not allowed it. So this Ruben has sucked on and played with a lot. As such, it smells like Ruben to them. This one we're still doing it, so before it's allowed out of the box. Another part of the training, obviously we were very lucky having an IVF baby, but being an IVF baby, obviously we knew extremely early that we were pregnant. The training that we did for the boys, Darwin didn't need a whole lot because he's a very good boy. Gilly, it was probably the hardest for. Gilly's biggest things was teaching him not to jump on me. We have changed the layout of this room, but we used to have 2 small sofas. Whenever I came into the room, Gilly would jump on it and then jump off the back and it was kind of like a party trick. He'd jump into my arms, and it was very cute. On an evening, I would sit and hold him like a baby. I had been known to make a cup of tea while having Gilly on a hip, and obviously couldn't do that while I was being pregnant, and then needed him to learn that unfortunately he couldn't be held. Like, occasionally I would hold Darwin and Gilly would be jealous, and it was teaching him that he couldn't be jealous of me holding something. So that was difficult, but we was able to start, like, we got pregnant last January, and we was able to start from day one of coming back from Poland. The other big thing is with the boys was they've always had free roam of the house. They've always been allowed in every room. They're allowed on the sofa. They're allowed in the bed. And then we made the decision that we didn't want them unsupervised in Ruben's room. Now, currently, obviously, Ruben sleeps in our room. So that's not a thing, but Ruben's bedroom nursery is that door, and basically they're only allowed in there if we're in there. Like, we leave the door open normally for air to circulate. If they go in there and we're all out here or we're in another room, they're told to come out. It's just so when Ruben is in that room, the boys aren't unsupervised. I love my dogs. They are my fur babies and I trust them so much, but you don't leave a baby unattended with a dog. You don't leave a child unattended with a dog, is my personal opinion. So yeah. Darwin, people asking about how the dogs feel about Ruben. Darwin adores him, follows him around, like if you're carrying him, normally sits by the swing if he's in there, sits by the cot if he's having a nap. Gilly, not so much. Like, whenever we come home and we've got the baby carrier, Gilly's probably the first one with his nose in there to check he's there. It's like, all right, the baby's here, that's fine, and then he'll go away. I think once Ruben's a bit older, I think Gilly will probably come more into it when he realises that they can play and give him snacks and things. But at the moment, Gilly very much likes it when Ruben goes to bed, because Darwin tends to follow Ruben into the bedroom and lie next to the cot, and then Gilly comes out and has cuddles. So it's all a learning curve. Oh, I've been talking for 15 minutes. Are we going to have more kids? If I could wave a magic wand and fall pregnant in August, probably would. Not going to lie, probably would. Loved being pregnant, love children, love babies, even with the sleep deprivation, love them. But obviously, you know, it took 10 years, 3 rounds of IVF to get Ruben. We do have embryos, frozen embryos still. They are in Poland. I currently am not allowed to travel to Poland. John is, because he has a Polish passport, but he can't do it without me. And then there's all that. Oh, it's a much bigger conversation. There's that guilt. IVF costs money. That's money that we could possibly spend on Ruben. You're not guaranteed it's going to work. Just because it worked the last time, the next one might not work, and then it's kind of emotional pain, finances that could be put elsewhere. But at the same time, I do feel an emotional connection to my embryos. Like, I mourn the embryos that didn't stick, that you know, the babies that I see them as babies. You know, I mourn the babies that we lost. So I don't know, is the honest answer. I don't know. I had a lot of people asking if we had a girl's name. No. I fell in love with the name Ruben IVF round 2. I've told the story about Ruben's name, but I fell in love with it round 2, and always said if we have a little boy, he's going to be called Ruben Roy. And yeah, and then the moment I got pregnant, I was convinced it was a boy. Actually, before I got pregnant, when, can you hear Ruben? He's on his swing and there's this bear thing that hangs, he's laughing at it. When we travelled to Poland for our frozen embryo transfer, which ended up being Reuben, I said, oh, we're going to go get our little boy. We didn't know we didn't have a sex test done on our embryos. But yeah, no, we never picked a girl's name. However, I do like, there's lots of names I like. I like Violet. I have a solid girl's middle name that if we ever did have a girl would be used, which is a family name. But yeah, I like the name Violet. I really like the name Margot. John hates it. I like Lottie. But yeah, we never picked one. I also, just fun fact, boys' names. I like the name Yannick. I really like that. I really like the name Christoph. I really like the name Jack as well. I kind of think if I never fell in love with the name Reuben, I think Jack would have been a definite front runner. Basically, it's always, I don't know, my mum is called Jacqueline, and I couldn't ever really make my mind up if it was cute to have a little boy called Jack when that's your mum's name, or a bit creepy. I don't know, but I really like the name Jack. But yeah, who knows? Who knows? What got you through pregnancy? Progesterone. Hardcore progesterone. Tablet form and in oral injected. What got me through pregnancy? To be fair, obviously we were in the first lockdown. His little feet are going. What got me through lockdown? What got me through pregnancy? I had an easy pregnancy. The end was a bit rough, but realistically I had an easy pregnancy, so I was just feeling blessed that I had it. That was kind of, yeah, but at the beginning it was the hardcore IVF drugs that got me there. Best and worst buys for new mums. I have things to do. Worst things, don't buy too much stuff before your baby's there. That's not me being like, that might sound a bit weird because obviously you want to be prepared, and I did that thing where, you know, you bought some baby shampoo with that shopping and you bought some nappies and things, but it's really weird. Like, I have a friend, she's got 3 kids. First 2 kids used a certain brand of wet wipes on them, no problems. Bought a bulk order of it from Amazon for when her baby number 3 came. Baby number 3, terribly allergic to said wet wipes. Do you know what I mean? Same as we bought a lot of Tommy TP stuff before Reuben was born. Loads of it. Because it was a brand that we knew and like our family had used, and we kind of trusted it. And all of their stuff is really well reviewed. It's laughing away. So yeah, we've got the sterilizer, we've got the prep machine, we've got bottles, we've got dummies. Hang on. Yeah, so we have a whole lot of the Tommy TP stuff, and all of it I rate highly, but it could have gone wrong. So we bought a lot of bottles, like, and you change teats as you go up, and we bought a lot of these Tommy TP ones because they were good. Do you know what I mean? Everyone said they were good, so we bought them, and Reuben took to them beautifully. But it wasn't until after Reuben was here I realised that babies can reject certain types of teats. And like, if he hadn't have liked the Tommy TP teats, we'd have invested all that money into all of those bottles that we couldn't use. Same with, so we bought Tommy TP dummies. You know, true transparency, I was a dummy snob before I had a child. I was like, my child will not have a dummy. They actually gave Reuben a dummy while we were in hospital. We stayed in hospital for 2 weeks after Reuben was born. Prem baby, tube fed. They said it would help him learn how to suck. So they gave him a dummy, but it was like a special kind for prem babies. It was tiny. As such, he was quite used to having a dummy by the time we got home. So we gave him the Tommy Teepee dummies that, you know, match the bottles. Wouldn't take it, didn't like it. We have got a nubby breast pump, and part of the package that the pump came with, you got one nubby dummy. That's the dummy that Ruben likes. John gave it to him just to see, because he kept on refusing these Tommy Teepee dummies. John gave him the nubby dummy, loved it. It is the only brand of dummy he will now take. Somebody gave us when Ruben was born, is it Mam? I think the brand is Mam gift set. And in that gift set there was a dummy. He won't take that either. So again, obviously dummies aren't an expensive thing, but they are things that we bought that we wasted money on because Ruben won't take them. Luckily, the food bank near our home accepts that kind of thing, so they didn't go to waste. Oh no, that's the wrong page. Oh, Best Buys. Okay, so my Tommy Prep, I always call it a Prep and Prime machine, but that's Prep and Prime Mac Fix Plus, isn't it? I can't remember the proper name of it. It's amazing. I will try and put a picture up and share. Another thing is a baby swing, lifesaver. Ruben is still very much awake, smiling away to himself. He's very happy, but he does like the vibrate setting more than the swing setting, but he loves it. Another thing I personally would recommend is this. If you bottle feed your child, well actually no, I think I sterilise everything that goes in Ruben's mouth. So bottles, the bowls and spoons that we use for feeding real food, dummies, this type of toy, pretty much everything gets sterilised. And then obviously my breast pump gets sterilised as well. And then I do sterilise as I go. I've got a Tommy Teepee steriliser. Not sponsored by Tommy Teepee at all. But as such, twice a week I do a deep, nimble spray thing. It doesn't smell great, but it does such a good job. So this is a milk buster. They call it a baby bottle cleaner. Bye cloudy, smelly bottles, and it's plant-based apparently. But yeah, I think it's like a £5. I've seen infomercials for this stuff. You can pick it up in Sainsbury's. But yeah, it's really good. I rate it. It's really handy. Another thing that I don't have to show you, but some bottle brushes. The skinnier the better. We have some that they came with a pack of metal straws to clean the metal straws. Basically, when I'm cleaning my breast pump, I get a little bit over the top, because I don't think you can be over the top actually when you're cleaning something that all your child's food goes through. Our breast pump is really good, but there's certain parts where the brush that comes with the pump just isn't fine enough. So yeah, proper scrub it with those little bottle brushes. Another thing, now we call these muzzies, muslin squares. They're just like the fabric. I basically recommend buy as many as you think you need and then buy 10 more. Before I was pregnant, I read this blog post about like this minimalist mum, and she said you only need 3 of these. One in the wash, one being dried, and one to use. Bollocks. Absolute rubbish. We have days where Ruben might only use 1, and then we might have days where Ruben uses 10 in an hour. You know, you put them over your shoulder while you're burping. They are there to catch up any, you know, we're quite lucky Ruben isn't a sicky baby, but he is a very dribbly baby. We've got teeth, or the beginnings of teeth happening, and we've got the fist in the mouth and the dribble. So we go through a lot of them. They just, you know, it doesn't matter. As I said, there's no pattern to it. Some days one can last him all day. You might go through 100 in an hour. So yeah, however many of those you think you need more. And somebody asked if what I would ask somebody to have bought me when I had a newborn. Home cooked meal. You know, you can have all the fancy stuff, and loads of people buy things like baby grows, and they're very cute, but they only fit them for 5 seconds. Take somebody a lasagna or a cottage pie, or do you know what I mean? Sometimes you just want some good food, and trying to have something that, like, takeaways are lovely, but you get to that point where you're like, you just want some vegetables and some balanced meal. So if I ever have I don't know, I'm burpy today, I'm sorry. If you're my friend and you're watching this and I ever have a baby again, which might not happen, let's be real, please bring me a lasagna and some garlic bread. Did we have Ruben vaccinated? A lot of people ask that question. He's had his first 2. So, here in the UK, vaccines for babies are split into 3 different goes. He's had the first 2. He should have had his 3rd one on Christmas Eve, but the nurse, our GP, recommended waiting and having it done in the new year because Ruben reacted to both of his previous injections, and she said, you don't want to ruin his first Christmas. So the plan was to have it done the first week of January. However, lockdown life, our GP surgery aren't doing them at the moment, so he is still to have his 3rd set of injections. He will be having them when it is safe to. This isn't technically a baby question, but the answer's a baby answer, so I've included it. What is your biggest fear? SIDS is my biggest fear. SIDS is sudden infant death syndrome. It's the scariest thing on earth to me. It just petrifies me, and I lose countless hours of sleep if I think about it, because it happens to healthy babies, it happens to babies that get put down to sleep in the perfect position, in the right clothing, in the right temperature. It's just the most scary thing on earth to me. So yeah, that is my biggest fear. When are you going back to work? No. If you're not in the UK, you might not know, maternity pay, I believe, is a benefit that's paid to everybody, and you are entitled to, I believe, for the first 9 months. It isn't a lot of money. No, it's not a lot of money. It's like £170 a week, which might sound like a lot, but if you choose to go back to work, you lose that money. So, but then if you compare it to the average salary, it's not a lot of money. Do you know what I mean? It's not. But also in the UK, if you are in full-time employment, I'm quite sure if you're in part-time employment as well, your employer legally has to keep your job open for 12 months. So I can take my 9 months paid leave, and then I can choose to stay off until 12 months, and my employer has to give me my job back when I go back. I don't know. It's not a decision John and I have made yet. It's a joint decision. The issue we have is I'd very much like to be a stay-at-home mum, but I don't. This is mostly a Katy issue rather than a joint issue. I find it very odd not earning money, and that's not. We share our income, like we only have a joint bank account, but you know, it's very strange for me. And we talked about this in a vlog the other day about how I find it odd, like it kind of almost feels like that's John's money now, the money that's in the bank, because yeah, it's tricky because I have what you'd call a good UK salary. Go on, Darren, you're alright. I earn what I guess is God, see, when I say bold. Average UK salary, maybe slightly higher than the average UK salary. Darwin, sit down. Sit down, Baba. Come on, old man, sit down. yeah, I would say I'm average, slightly above average UK salary. John earns more than me as a self-employed person, so we're used to that level of income. And now I'm earning £170 a week, but that's because I'm doing the childcare. I don't know. So I'd love to stay at home full time. We are very much used to having a lot more of an income. I don't know. Have you had any booze yet? No. Last time I had alcohol was the 7th of December 2019. Basically on the 7th of December we went to a Christmas party, and I believe it was the 9th of December we started our IVF drugs. And then obviously I got pregnant and I'm still breastfeeding, so yeah. How's breastfeeding? Painful. Ruben isn't traditionally breastfed. He never latched. I've talked about this before. He was tube fed for the first 2 weeks of his life. A lot of prem babies end up being tube fed. He was tube fed. He has a slight tongue tie. He just never latched. We tried. We had lessons while we were in the hospital. We had support when we left hospital. It just didn't work. We tried for about a month. It just didn't happen. So he is breastfed, but it is expressed, pumped and fed through a bottle. I talked about it the other day how I was having nipple issues, working through them, kind of hoping that as his enjoyment of solids, he's, I say, loving sweet potato at the moment, loving baby rice. At the moment he's still 90% breast milk, but you know, we have enough of a stash in the freezer. I still have enough. I'm still producing quite a lot of milk. It's okay, but you know, we are in the weaning process. And the last Ruben question was, will you christen Ruben? Yes, we will, as soon as we are legally and safely able to do it in a manner we would like to do it. Yeah, I think we did it. I don't know if it's part of every Catholic wedding, but it's a part of the wedding service that you promise to raise your children Catholic. But now I've seen the boldness. Oh, I can't unsee it. Hideous. But yeah, it will happen, but when it's safe too. I've been talking for like half an hour. Will anybody still be watching this video? Let's just smash it on. Now, the non-Ruben questions. In here, I'm talking about politics, religion, abortion, weight loss, moving, most used emoji. Such a range of things. What's your most used emoji? Probably the woman going like that. And then probably the poop one and the heart. Do you still think Brexit was bad? Now, you can tell which questions came off of Instagram because I talk a lot more about politics over there than I do on YouTube. If you only watch the YouTube channel, you just probably see the food hauls and the cooking. They are the most watched videos, but on Instagram sometimes I get a little bit ranty about politics. I'm a lefty. I've never hidden the fact that I'm a lefty. I was pro staying in the EU. I do not vote Tory. I think it's scummy that we live in a country where there are children that go to bed hungry, that there are old people that can't put their heating on. And if you have just thumbs down this video or decided to unsubscribe, bye. Don't need. If you think it's okay that there are children in this country that are hungry, and you think it is okay that there are families and old people in fuel poverty, then I don't really want you to watch me. Just saying. Do I still think Brexit was bad? Yes. But we had a vote. Most people voted differently to me. We have left the EU. Do I think it's a bad idea? Yes. Can I change it? No. I can't, well, I can't change it for everybody, obviously. Bigger picture. Gonna move. John and I have a plan, and eventually we will be back living in an EU country. We can still do that because John has a European passport, and John's got a Polish passport. He's also got a British passport. He's got dual nationality. We have got a Polish wedding certificate, and the plan will be that Ruben will also have a Polish passport. So we will have the right to live in the EU, right to roam. But yeah, my views on Boris. What? Right, take away the politics, take away everything. You know he has someone there that is there to kind of, like all politicians have people there that tell them how to dress. Why is no one ever telling him to brush his hair? Just like, you're going on telly to represent our country, brush your bloody hair. I don't know why it bugs me so much when my hair looks like this on the internet, but you know what I mean. I'm not PM. No. There are people out there like, well, you did the best job he could. No, he didn't. We're an island. Look at New Zealand. Look at Australia. We didn't close the borders soon enough. Do you know what I mean? We didn't react quickly enough. I think as a country we have put business ahead of people's lives. It's okay for me to be preachy. I'm in the safest part of the country. We were tier 1 before the entire country got put into lockdown. But it's like right now, we're in lockdown. It's like you're not meant to do non-essential stuff. Yeah, John's business is classed as an essential service. He has a post office. He has been open the entire time. John's very good friend works for a company that sell kitchens and bathrooms. First lockdown, his store was shut. This lockdown, it's open. And he is, meeting people every day, designing kitchens and bathrooms for them. And they're allowed to be open. It's like, how's having a new kitchen installed essential? And I know people need money and we can't all be bankrupt. We're all going to be bankrupt and blah. But then it's like, you look at all the good work that like Marcus Rashford is doing, and it's like there are people out there starving, and then there are politicians saying that no, we're not going to give vouchers to these people. The other day they were on about cutting the universal credit system again, and it's like, if you're one of these people that go, if you can't feed them, don't breed them, again, unsubscribe, don't watch me. It's that thing, life changes, isn't it? Just because you are in a position now where you're struggling to feed your 8-year-old, 8 years ago, you could have been in a relationship where you both had really good jobs. One of you could have been made redundant, one of you could have been ill, one of you could have passed away, you could have broken up, and now you're a single mum doing the full-time, you've gone from having a full-time job, 2 full-time incomes, to part-time because you're a single mum, and that's not your fault. You could still both be in those great jobs you were 8 years ago, but wages hasn't gone up because as a country, income hasn't been going up, but everything else has. Rents have increased, utilities have increased, food costs have increased, but wages haven't. They haven't kept up with the inflation. So what was a good job 8 years ago, everything else has gone up around you apart from your income, and now you've got a third person to pay for. That's not even taking into a case of people that have been furloughed, so their salaries have dropped by 20%, people that have lost their jobs, people that work in industries that just keep on being closed, like if you're a nail technician. I know I've just said I think they should be closed, and I stand by that. I think at the moment all non-essential stuff should be closed, but there also should be support in place for those people that you're forcing them not to work. So no, don't have the nicest view of Boris Johnson. Masks, vaccines, opinions. Wear a mask. Do you know what I mean? If you're outside, wear a mask. I was in floods of tears the other day. This lady that I follow on Instagram, she's pregnant. 6 rounds of IVF. Finally pregnant, bless her. And she is in hospital with COVID. The only time she left her house... No, sorry, she hasn't left her house since Christmas Day. Her partner had gone to a chemist to get her prenatal drugs because there was a mix-up with a delivery or something. And basically he caught COVID in a chemist. She caught COVID in the chemist. They both had positive tests. He had a mild case, never went into hospital. She currently still in hospital. It's real. I know there are people out there that like think we're all sheep for believing in COVID and more people die of the flu. Shut up. Getting ranty. But yeah, no, wear a mask or don't go out. I personally, if the vaccine was offered to me, I would stop breastfeeding. Like, if they said you can have the vaccine, I'd be like, okay, pump, like, you know, they can say, you know, they said, oh, you can have the vaccine next Tuesday. Between now and then, I'd pump like Billy O, make sure I had enough breast milk, and then that would be it. There'd be no more breast milk for Ruben, and I would have the vaccine. Because I would. I know other people have other opinions on that, but you've asked for mine. I'll go on, you know, there's another thing about the people that went away for Christmas, Dubai, all like the Love Island lot and influencers. I half understand it. You want to get away. It's like all the people that came to Cornwall when we were tier 1, and they left tier 4, like Gordon Ramsay and all of that flooded to Cornwall because it was safer here. I get it, because you want to keep yourself and your family safe, but it's ignorant because of the other people that you could hurt. These people that went to Dubai for Christmas, I kind of think, or New Year, again, I get it, you want to escape the horrific reality, and I probably would have respected it more if you didn't plaster it over your social media, because there are people out there that can't do that, and it's cruel to rub it into their faces. But I also think it's bloody selfish, because you don't know the risk of A, what you were taking there, and B, what you were bringing back. I'd love to go on holiday. Fuck it. I'd love to just be able to go to see my mum, take my baby to go and see its granny, and I can't, but you can go to Dubai, and so yeah. Anger. Do I think I'm going to have a second birthday in lockdown? This is because I put something on Instagram the other day saying, seeing a lot of people are refusing to have their vaccines. I think it should be offered to those of us that have already had one birthday in lockdown, so we don't have to have a second. A lot of the stuff being said by the government is that things should be eased in March. My birthday's the 5th of April, which is the Easter holidays. John and I have talked about it. We reckon they're going to do it after Easter, because obviously Easter's a big time where people mix with their family. So if they do it after the bank holiday, restrictions maybe, I don't know. But yeah, yes, I think I'm going to have a second birthday in lockdown. I think that's the end of the politics. Somebody asked, is my mum better? I've mentioned it in a couple of videos that my mum has been unwell. My mum has leukemia, so she's not better, but she's doing okay. But thank you for asking. How are John and I doing financially? A lot of people were interested in finances. I think that's because, again, in a vlog we talk about money. We're all right, I think. No, we're okay. We were very fortunate because we both work in industries that survived lockdown. So if you don't know, I work in private housing market. I work for an agency that does also that does letting, so it's a letting agent and it's also an estate agent. So I got sent March the 19th, 2020. My boss turned around and said, "You're going to go work from home for 3 weeks," and I never went back, basically. I kind of stayed home until I had Ruben. I work in the legal department. I'm not an estate agent. I do contracts. I do the legal stuff. So I was very able to very comfortably do my job from home, which meant I kept 100% of my income. John owns a post office, which is classed as a key service, same as a bank. So he has been open 6 days a week all the way through. So in that aspect of things, we're very lucky that we've kept, or until I went on maternity leave, I kept 100% of my income, and John's been able to do his. John has been very busy because obviously post offices have been very busy. Lots of online returns and parcels being sent when you couldn't visit people at Christmas and stuff. So yeah, financially we are doing okay. Obviously maternity pay has had a knock-on effect to our income, but again, all of those things that you spend your money on normally has been shut for most of 2020. So, you know, there's been no holiday. It's like the only thing we spend money on is groceries and the occasional takeaway, I suppose. But yeah, saving a fortune just not going to Starbucks 3 times a week, to be fair. It's that thing. We had some savings in the run up to her having a baby. We probably should have had more, but as you're more than aware, we spent all of our money on IVF to get Ruben. No, we're all right. We're okay. We're not entitled to any government support, so we don't get tax credits or is it universal credit? We don't get any of that. The only thing we get is child benefit, which is like £20 a week. But we're all right. We are okay. Thank you for asking. Guilty pleasure. This one's gross. I like the videos on YouTube where people squeeze other people's spots. John thinks it's so gross. I tend to watch it because it is like just before bed when I start having that mental panic about SIDS. And I find that if I watch the gross, like they're beauticians and they've got gloves on and stuff, but if I find that if I watch those videos, it kind of clears my brain of all the other junk. But yeah, I like those videos. Oh yeah, if you were going to retrain, what would you retrain to do? I've always kind of said that I'd like to be one of those people that decorate the fancy shops at Christmas. Like, you know, people that go in and dress windows and puts up the Christmas trees. Like, you know, when you go to Selfridges at Christmas or Liberty's and they've got like a whole floor of Christmas and everything is swagged in garlands and ribbons and baubles and things. Oh, that's one thing I did miss this Christmas. We have a lovely garden centre that's not that far from us, and they always do the most beautiful Christmas displays, but we didn't go. They were open because they were only tier 1, but garden centres were rammed and a bit scared, so didn't go to any this year. But yeah, I've always loved to do that, and I know you can get qualifications in that. Another job I think I would like to do, I think I'd like to be like a customer coordinator, a customer care or customer support person at a fertility clinic. I think I would be good at that because I'm a good administrator. It's what I've done for years in different fields, but I can give the correct level of empathy, I think, because I've gone through the process. I don't know, but then again at the same time I think I might get too emotionally connected, and I think I'd probably come home and cry, because obviously most IVF does not end up in most fertility treatment doesn't end in a baby. So I don't know, part of me would think I'd be alright at that. Do I wish I could drive? If I could wave a magic wand and I was as good a driver as John, yes, totally would. But I don't think it's ever going to happen. So I think if I could probably sit the written side of the driving test tomorrow and pass. I've had the books, I've done the online quizzes. I'm good at that stuff. Stuff from books I can learn and I can do. A couple of years ago, well, 4 years ago, John bought me a car. Had some driving lessons. I sucked. Like, I knew the practicality side of it. I knew the rules, I knew the laws, I knew the actual process of driving. Just no, it was just bad. I just complete fear, driving so slowly that that it just frustrated the person trying to teach me. Because anything, like, I'm very easily distracted, and I'm aware that I'm easily distracted, and I'm like, don't look at anything but the road, don't look at it. But you can't do that because you've got to be aware of what's around you. But I'm like, if I'm aware of what's around me, I'm like, oh, puppy, or oh, look at that greyhound, or oh, they've got fairy lights, and it was the most stressful thing. And now that I have Reuben, I just think the idea of me being in charge, like, don't get me wrong, first time I went out, just me and him, and I was just pushing the pram, I kind of freaked a little bit. Putting Reuben in a car seat and getting in a car and driving, I can't. So yeah, if I could wave a magic wand and it happen, probably. But the reality of it is probably not ever gonna happen. Is this your forever home? No. No. We bought this place 12 years ago in April. It's a starter home and we're still in it, but obviously we spent all our money on IVF. But no, this isn't our forever home. It's a good place, it's a good base, it's 2-bedroom. But no, this is not our forever home. Do you think you'll get any more pets? No. Look at Darwin's face. When you look at that face, you're like, oh, I'll have 10 more. Dogs are a lot of work, you know. Darwin is the most chilled dog on earth. Gilly is not. But you know, they need walk. Like, our boys are lazy. They only need walking once a day, and if it's raining, like it is now, if I tried to get Darwin to go outside, it would be a losing battle. He'd be all excited. You'd put his coat on, you'd put his lead on, he'd get out to the porch, he'd take 3 steps in the rain, pull to get back in the house. So, but they need a lot of attention and they need a lot of love. And so does Reuben. And there's only so much I can spread myself. So no new pets for a while. Are you moving to Poland? Maybe one day. Dream. John and I have a 10-year plan. I think we are like a few years into that 10-year plan, setting goals we want to hit by the time we're 45. Reuben was the biggest one of those goals. He's here, so now we've got to start doing the others. One day, maybe, yes, we would like to live in Poland. Weight loss. Lots of questions on weight loss and losing my baby weight and blah, 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 blah. I've lost my baby weight. It's gone. I actually, when I left hospital, when I brought Reuben home from the hospital, I think I had 2 pounds of my baby weight to lose, and that's gone. It's a mixture of things. I didn't put on a whole lot of weight. I weighed the day before my waters broke. If you don't know, my waters broke a week before Reuben was born. And I put on, I think it was 18 pounds, my pregnancy. And then Reuben was like £5.10. Obviously I lost a lot of weight when my waters broke. And then I spent 2 weeks after Reuben was born in hospital, and the care was fantastic. The food sucked. Yeah. And obviously there was quite a lot of stress while Reuben was in hospital, and that helps with weight loss. and breastfeeding. But yeah, I'm itchy. My baby weight is all gone. This is normal weight gain from Christmas and things. I would probably like to lose a bit of weight just because I have some very nice clothes in a dress size smaller than I am. Yeah, at one point they said, I want to lose 2 stone before Easter. Don't think that's going to happen now. I like chocolate cheesecake too much. But yeah, yes, I would like to lose some weight at some point, but it's not the top thing on my priority list. What food do you hate the most? Love your food videos. Food I hate, liver, even though I like pate, but like liver and onions, my dad used to cook it, he loved it, John likes it. And bigos, which is like a Polish stew, which again John really likes, I really hate. But yeah, they're my like 2 least favourite foods. Who is your celebrity crush? I've got a few. Louis Theroux, love him. Who doesn't love Louis Theroux? Like really, who doesn't love Louis Theroux? Noel Fielding, which is so not my type, but I love him. And Russell Howard, because I love a Bristolian accent. I love all accents, like, you know, Sean Bean. I love all accents, but humour is kind of, yeah, love me as some Russell Howard. This is a hard question, and I kind of wasn't going to include it in the video. You share a lot of women's pro-choice stuff, but claim you're Catholic. Right, so on Instagram, there's been a lot of stuff going on in Poland. It was obviously, you know, I follow a lot of Polish accounts because I spend a lot of time in Poland. And there is a lot of stuff going on, or there was a lot of stuff going on over 2020 about women's rights. And there were protests, and yeah, I married in a Catholic church. Ruben will be raised, or is being raised as a Catholic. He will be baptised. Am I a poster child for the Catholic Church? No. You know, there are some very strict Catholics that are very against IVF because it's interfering with God's plan. And, you know, we did IVF. I really believe in a woman's right to choose what she does with her body, and me enforcing my religious beliefs on another person isn't right. So it's weird because obviously I've been very open with the fact of, you know, infertility, 10 years of trying for a baby, IVF. I've been very open with that. And as such, I would never, if by some miracle I'm sat here pregnant right now and I don't know it, don't think I would ever have an abortion. You know, we were offered the tests that they can do when you're pregnant to see if your baby they do it like a Down syndrome test, and there's other syndromes that they can test for. And the reason they do that is so you can be prepared for it when the baby, because they give you the option to terminate the pregnancy. We chose not to have those tests because we wouldn't have done it, but that's my choice. I don't have a right to make that choice for another woman just because my faith says no. Yeah, can't control another woman's rights, so that's why I share that stuff. This is going to be the longest video on earth. I'm really sorry. If you've got this far, well done, get a Chuffy badge. If I won £1 million, what would be three things I buy for myself? A passport, because mine ran out in October. And I didn't see the point of renewing it quite yet. A round of IVF, probably, if I had £1 million, and probably a house in Gdansk. Where will be your first holiday when it's safe? I'd love to go back to Morocco. Me and John rewatched our Morocco vlogs the other day, or one of them from Morocco. but I think Ruben would need to be a bit older, just because of the heat and a lot of the things you do around like children's pools and stuff. And I think there's meant to be a really good zoo in Morocco, I'm not sure. But yeah, I think Ruben would need to be a bit older before we could take him there. So probably our first holiday will probably be Poland, probably Gdansk. I can't wait to take him back there. There's so many amazing things I want him to see, but I also think it's important that he knows that he's an IVF baby and he knows this is where he was made. I don't know, it's part of the journey, and obviously you can't tell a 4-month-old, but I don't know. It was like recently, it was the annual, you know, it was the year since we flew to Poland for our frozen embryo transfer, and the day before we flew we had Chinese, so we had Chinese here, and like the day of transfer we had Polish food at home, and it just, there are certain traditions being started and put in place, and it's family history now. So yeah. Have you ever dined and dashed? Nope. Oh, and the last question, three things that you hate or dislike that others love. Gin is a waste of vodka. Love Island, don't get it. And I've got 2 for my third, so I've got 4 actually. TikToks being shared on Insta stories. Now I'm all about self-promotion, I get it. But if I wanted to watch you do the same dance over and over again, I'd watch your TikTok. I don't watch it. Like, it's one thing if you see a funny TikTok and you share it on your Insta stories because you think your friends might like it. Get it. But if people wanted to watch your TikToks, they'd follow you on TikTok, not Instagram. The other thing would probably be Harry Potter. Now, disclaimer, I don't hate Harry Potter. I don't hate it, don't come at me. But I don't get it. I don't get Harry Potter, but that's because I've never read the books and I've never watched any of the movies. Normally, when you say that to people, they are hugely offended. I was too old when the books come out. I was dating and going clubbing, and you know, maybe when Ruben's a bit older we'll read them together. But yeah, I've got friends that are a little bit younger than me. They're like in their early 30s rather than their late 30s. And you know, they've got their Harry Potter tattoos and their, what's it, Grumble door, duffel door, I don't know, selection hat t-shirt things. I'm like, don't know, don't get it. Like, my 10-year-old niece loves Harry Potter. It's very cute. But yeah, I don't hate it, but I've never watched one, so I don't get it. I don't get it why 35-year-olds need a Harry Potter t-shirt. And on that note, I'm going to finish my video that's like an hour and a half long. If you've got to the end of the video, write I love Harry Potter in the comments. Oh, if I have offended anybody with my views. Well, it depends what bits offended you. Like, if the abortion bits offended you, then I'm sorry. But I don't believe my faith has got anything to do with other women's rights. If I've offended you over the fuel or food poverty, then I'm not sorry. We're in a successful country and none of our children should go hungry. You know, I could go on and on about politics. You know, that Rees-Mogg bloke, if a fish comes into our borders, it's now British fish, but if a refugee fleeing a war comes over on a boat, they're the scum of the earth. Ugh. This isn't a politics channel. I talk about food and babies, but those refugees are somebody's babies. Anyway, well done if you made it to the end of the video. Again, if there is any video you want to see, let me know. If you have an IVF question, let me know. Oh, right, this is going to be a monster to edit. I hope you're all well. Take care, guys. I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.